Today we talk Corinne Gaines, Zimmerman Punched, Ferrari F Ups, Olympic highlights, Instagram is tripping, Suicide Squad, and more on today's Headlines with Headliners.
Hey.
Oh yeah, there it is.
It always makes my shoulders move.
Man, that's a slapper.
Okay, all right.
Are you finally on?
I tried. I'm trying to get into the song, but it just reminds me of us. Like it doesn't.
It reminds you of what?
Of us. It just reminds me of us. It's the only time I've ever actually heard this song was
Hilarious.
with us.
Well, you gotta broaden your horizons. First of all, listen. Let me introduce you to us. This is Teron Van Gossary.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only.
Tell them where you're from.
Well, everyone knows at this point I have a hat with my name on it. Like it'd be hard. You have to go out of your way not to know my name. And I feel like everyone should have a hat with their name on it.
I've tried.
Because that way we know who people are. Because you don't know, like Nate
No.
Jackson has a car with his name on it. Now that's real.
Yeah.
See,
That is
guys
real.
would want that, but women, I'm already, hey, Shody. I don't need them to know my name and go look me up. Yeah, Kanisha, we got her. Like,
What's your name?
Hi, my name is Kanisha Bass.
Outstanding. And I am Nate Jackson from season 8 of Wildin' Out on MTV.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
Shame.
You know,
Hey, man.
at the Laugh Factory show I do every Monday and Thursday at 10,
Yeah.
we were just talking about that, how you're on Wild 'N Out season 8.
That's dope. On my way over, I was listening to Sirius Satellite. Somebody was on there.
Oh, me.
Oh, wow.
Shade 45.
That's
And you were listening.
crazy.
Oh, yeah, on Sirius.
All of
Excellent.
these shameless plugs. How have you guys been?
What do you mean? We just saw each other yesterday.
Yeah, we
Like
did.
yesterday we came. Okay, we're real.
Yes.
First of all, Nate doesn't like the fact that I was swallowing hard.
Oh, we're going to go back to that.
No, we are. We're going to discuss that because you have a pet peeve
First
that we
of
just
all-
found out about.
It wasn't no hard swallows. This
wasn't.
man literally ate a bag of hot nuts. Okay? No pun intended. It was a bag of spicy peanuts
Yes, it was.
that he chewed.
And they were
got,
delicious.
He got peanut shrapnel and fragments all around his gum line and in his and then he was trying to get it out without any assistance of a beverage.
Fluids.
Yeah. And we have on headphones, so all I hear is just
Sound like a young camel.
Yeah, it sound like
Whoa. Now why do we have to
sound
make
like
it
a-
racially motivated? Then why'd you have to come?
Okay, it's a lot of
stereotype
animals
the-
that you-
Calm down, Alibaba and the 40 Thieves.
See what I mean?
You can make him get
see
his
what I
carpet
deal
and
with?
dry it out.
You see what I deal with here? Do you guys see what I deal with here? But it's interesting because everyone does have a different pet peeve. Actually, you just did one of mine yesterday when you tore that paper out of the notebook.
Really? I
That's
wonder
one
why
of-
you said that.
That is one of my pet peeves.
Really?
I just like, those proliferated papers. Like
Right.
they stay in the notebook. Why get the notebook? If you're just going to tear it out, use a regular sheet of paper.
What about those dotted lines they give you to rip along?
Yeah, I don't prescribe to that. That's not.
I do because like I have. This is the thing. When I buy a notebook, that whole notebook is for something.
Yes.
So if there's something in there that's not for that topic or the cat, then it's got to come
See,
out.
I don't even. I
It's a
use a
joke
different
book.
notebook.
I shouldn't be writing down directions.
I use a different notebook for that. I will not. Like I have a stack of different notebooks because I write.
I just
in
want you to rip a page out right now.
I'm gonna rip one out.
You know what I
I'm
feel
gonna
like
rip
doing
one
right
out.
now? I
Do
feel
a
like
slow
swallowing really like real hard on like pause. But
I'm
a-
going to give you a note every day.
This is what I'm gonna
from
rip
what's your
out.
pet peeve?
No.
You have a pet-
No. Watch.
Oh man.
It's like tearing 20s.
And then it says chew quieter.
Oh my God. Such a hater.
That's right. It's
You
a
have a
joke
pet
within a
peeve?
joke.
I'm not
Kanisha?
going to expose myself to you, too. I'm not going to tell you what it is so that it can be used against me
This
later.
isn't kryptonite. This is just.
It is for me. Mine's is kryptonite.
Kanisha's doesn't like people who rub their hands
Oh,
together.
don't say it. Oh, God. No,
No,
like,
no,
no,
don't
no,
do it,
no,
don't
no,
do
no.
it. She
Like,
really
it
doesn't like
really
it.
it hurts the inside of my brain. Like,
Rubs hands together.
Oh, my God.
So how do you wash your hands?
first of all, I have a phobia of soap and water, so I do it really quick. But you can.
You have a soap and water phobia?
Yeah, my
That
showers
must
are really
be
fast.
the dirtiest.
Excuse me.
I'm
no,
just-
I'm clean, but it's just I don't.
If you
I,
don't use soap and or water.
No, I use them combined, but it's quickly. Like I dread it. So that's why, like I can't stick my hand in dishwater. I will have a full-fledged heart
Can we
attack.
have a conversation about that?
Yeah, she's.
We do have some topics.
I think her phobias are based on things she doesn't like doing. Dishes.
No, I wash one dish at a time with that thing.
Taking showers though?
Well, she's never been funky, so clearly
Yeah.
she's on top of something.
You can come smell. I got something else you can smell too. Listen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to those headlines.
She's talking
people.
about her lips.
Yeah, which
Oh,
lips?
that didn't fix anything.
Okay, we go to the headlines.
Story number one.
This is what happens when you get a bunch of headlining comedians in one room. Shameless
Yes.
You're
plug.
not lying. This is story number one, and we're going to go from jokes to seriousness. But we
Yeah.
have the now infamous story of Corinne Gaines. It's gone worldwide with attention after she posted this video on the web before the Baltimore police and SWAT stormed her apartment, killing her and shooting her 5-year-old son. So for the first time, we actually have footage before. Here it is. This is sad.
What's happening right now? Who's outside?
The police.
And what are they trying to do? It's charging. What are they trying to do?
They trying to kill us.
It's good. Do you want to go out there?
No.
Oh. Okay. What do you want to do?
This.
It's no wrong answer. What do you want to do?
This is hard for us to watch.
Yeah, this is a pretty tough one.
This is tough.
That's the policeman right there. SWAT. Just standing there with his gun out.
And they did have her stuff deactivated during all this.
Her Facebook.
Her
They
Facebook
they had it
deactivated.
deactivated, and
Beforehand?
While
she
she
was
was
able to get
streaming.
this.
What'd you
they-
say?
While she was streaming, they were like, "Hey, we need to get this stuff shut down before we go in there."
The feds did?
Yeah.
Well,
the
it's not
police.
it's the
Not
police.
the police.
It's not federal.
But look at the police officer standing in the house.
I just want you guys to know over some traffic violations.
Traffic violations and a missed court date
Yes.
is what they were serving the warrant for. And her boyfriend, who had fled the apartment with a 1-year-old, they said fled, even though they caught him without incident, was actually served a warrant for domestic violence abuse against Corinne Gaines. So it's a very interesting, touchy subject, especially given the locale. It's in Baltimore.
Right.
And if we remember what happened in Baltimore, Baltimore was last year the focal point of the riots over
Freddie Gray, I think.
exactly
Yeah.
who none of the officers were convicted. They were never convicted. They were all charged but not convicted. And the prosecuting attorney said that there is a definite cover up in the police over that situation, and now we have within the same span of time, within weeks of each other, all correlating at the same time, we have this incident with Corinne Gaines. Now, I do want people to know that she was holding a gun at the time of the incident. She was holding a gun. She had threatened to shoot police. However, after reading Sean King, who is a civil rights movement leader, a millennial civil rights
He's
leader.
also a reporter.
He is.
Yes.
After reading Sean King's objections to what happened, I realized a lot of points that I hadn't necessarily thought of beforehand. Number one, they were there to serve a warrant. Why send a SWAT?
Right.
Simple warrant. Number two, the concept is she was holding her son hostage, and so that's why they even surrounded her. Well, then, if that's the case, who are they trying to keep safe? The son got shot, and now we're definitive that it was the police that shot the son.
Right.
So the point is, if we're trying to keep the son safe, why go in? Number three, why even have this situation, a hostage situation, over a minor traffic violation warrant?
Right.
This is a warrant that could or could not have been served. She could have been arrested at another time. She could have been arrested without
May
incident.
have come into court on her own.
Yes.
And then the final thought Sean presented, which was very good, is that we're saying that would this have happened to a white person? And then he goes down through a list of white people who actually pointed guns directly at police officers, within some of them point blank, and lived to tell the story and were arrested without incident.
And you have to remember, in Oregon, they just had that big standoff at the federal building, and nobody got hurt. And it was a whole bunch of white men with guns, and everybody walked away. And this is for a traffic
It's your
violation,
right to
which is-
have a firearm,
It definitely is.
especially in your home.
And not only that, from what I understand is from what her family has been posting, that she did have some, they were saying mental illness issues, but it's still not okay. And that they knew that. And they said the mother was on the phone with the counselor trying to get them to talk her down, and they wouldn't let that call go through for her to even be talked down. So then at this point, they knew what her mental situation was,
Right.
and they still proceeded with what they did, you know.
That's terrible. And the part that really gets me is that is the back and forth I've seen between her and her kid. You know, her son, who he's not dead. He just was shot.
He was just shot. He was shot in the arm and grazed by shrapnel in his cheek. So he has bandages here for a wound on his arm and bandage on his cheek from where shrapnel from the bullet. That we've now, because at the time it wasn't certain that the bullet was from the police, because the conversation was that she had shot back,
Right.
and she had held her own son hostage, which the video doesn't really
ridiculous.
show that.
It doesn't show a gun either.
There is one.
I'm gonna go and give the police the benefit of the doubt that there was actually a gun. They've shown the gun. It seemed to be a shotgun of sorts.
She was loading.
Oh yeah.
But still, she's inside of her house. And then from my understanding, they went and got the key. Like, when does the manager go bring the key
From the
to let
landlord.
people into your house? Like that.
Well, it happens if they presented the landlord with a proper warrant, then that would be the case.
But they didn't have a proper warrant.
They did have a proper warrant.
Okay.
They had a warrant for her arrest.
Okay.
But they had a warrant for her arrest. However, the warrant didn't warrant this course of action, is what
No, a
people are saying.
warrant for your arrest is not the same thing as a warrant to search a premises.
True.
So they don't have a right to be in her house.
What happened was, when she presented the fact that she wasn't going to let them in and that she was armed, that gave them what they are saying is probable cause. All these things that I'm saying are just the information is presented to us.
Which I think is funny because she had, prior to this, been going around fighting police brutality,
Right, she's an
recording
actual activist.
several different occasions. There's more video from when she had been pulled over prior to
Saw
this
that in the
and
car.
other
She
things. So
literally said, "If you touch me, you're gonna have to kill me."
yes, and so it's just
when
one
she
of
was
those.
arrested
In the car, I just saw her in the vehicle.
in a vehicle
But
arrest.
and that's how you feel. You feel at this point because and my cousin even said, he was like, I can't get arrested. If they put me in handcuffs, I don't know if I'm gonna live. I'm definitely gonna have to fight, like, and they're gonna have to kill me. And that's where we're at. It's like, once I get arrested and my hands are behind my back, I don't know what's gonna happen. So we have that fear now of even going with the police, because simple traffic routines right now are getting us killed.
Right.
Getting in a police
it's
van
not-
are getting us killed.
It's not a comfortable concept to put your life in anyone's hands, let alone someone you do not know, and who has right now begun a pattern and a history of abusing that.
Abusing the power. I
abusing
got
the
pulled
power,
over this
yeah.
weekend. I was absolutely terrified. I'm like, well, do I start recording? And I know I hadn't done anything wrong, but at that point, I don't know who's coming to my car. It's 3 a.m. I'm pulled off on a side road. To my knowledge, I haven't done anything. I'm like, what just happened here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's nerve wracking because you're trying to figure out what course of action am I going to take after this, because you don't feel safe. So yeah, it's like, I got my shotgun. Why are all you guys here? There's so many of you guys. It just, I don't know.
It's just not common. It's not common for us to. This is the thing. We've seen videos of people waving guns and being wild on camera.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are shot, other times they aren't. But we've seen it before. What we haven't seen is what appears to be a mild-mannered, calm, sane person reasoning it out with their child, and in their last moments explaining to their child what's happening. Actually, she didn't even explain. She said, "What's happening?" And he said it. This child forever this is marked forever.
Exactly. If they were trying to protect the concern here is if they were trying to protect the child, because that seems to be the only person who was in any actual danger.
Right.
She's barricaded inside her own apartment. There's no one else inside that apartment. So who are they trying to protect?
You don't have
right?
to protect him from her, the mother.
So if they're protecting the child, then why open fire while the child is in the presence? And here's the worst part is that today a story came out where the son is recorded explaining that the police actually shot him when he was running away. And he says that in his own words. Mm-hmm. The aunt, Corinne's sister apparently, recorded the son explaining what happened and said, he says in his 5-year-old language that he was shot by the police when he was away and running from the situation. So now we'll see. There's an investigation, obviously. Hopefully the investigation will carry on to be federal and be unbiased as much as possible. But when the police are policing the police, who's really policing anyone?
That's very true. And my thing is, these guys are supposed to be trained. I feel like every action just seems like it's by untrained people, or people who just don't care and they're reckless. It's one or the other. And we know that you have to go through training. So you generally, I feel like, just don't give a damn because you don't feel like there's going to be any repercussions. Especially when you keep seeing people get away with stuff. It's like, oh, they keep getting away with it and they're getting time vacation and they're getting paid leave and all this stuff. Well, I'm going to just be reckless too then now, because now it's the thing to do.
There's actually a very interesting video that came out recently of a boy, 15-year-old, getting shot after stealing a vehicle, getting shot in the back as he was fleeing.
Yes, I seen
And the
that.
police officer specifically says, now I'm going to have to go on desk duty for this kid.
Yes.
Knowing he shot him and thinking that nothing's going to come of it but desk duty. Even
And
though he
gave
shot
a
him in
little
the
high
back.
five.
And there was actually no weapon in possession, which is against policing policy. Their own policy is if stolen property and there is no actual danger, then there should be no shots fired.
Right.
Because right now, shoot is like the answer to everything. It's like, and then, some people are like, well, they shouldn't have been stealing a car. Being
There's no
shot and
tasers,
being
no spike strips. There's nothing.
dead is not, this is not
Well,
appropriate.
he was fleeing on foot, which makes it, he wasn't even in the
the
car
car.
anymore. They had
No,
already
I understand.
recovered
I
the
already
car.
said tasers. I'm just
You don't
saying.
feel like running. Pow, I got him.
Pistols, bullets, imminent, like death doesn't have to be, like they're the judge and the jury. They're God down the street now.
Yeah.
And that's not how it should be. What's the point of having the court?
Well, I also
I
don't
had
want to
a friend of mine.
perpetuate
Let
this.
me tell you something. Well, perpetuate. They're perpetuate, not us. We're not the shooter. So I had a friend of mine who's a law enforcement officer, and he's really torn with all this going on. He's a black male and he's a police officer. But he said that his fellow officers, men in blue, they say they would rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. In other words, I'd rather kill and then go to court over it than potentially be in danger myself.
But a
Because
lot
there
of-
is danger. Let's
there
be
is,
honest.
yes.
Policing, the job of a police officer is not. It's not easy. It's not safe. And I think as a whole, we all, if not do, but we should respect and appreciate the lives that they give for us and the job that they do. However, bad people also become police officers,
Yes.
and then they become bad policemen.
Not only that, but police officers take an oath to do that. They have a duty. They
Protect
have
and serve.
Protect and serve.
But if you already have evil
didn't-
intentions going into it, because a lot of people on the force already have bad intentions when they join the force to abuse the power. So you have to understand that too, and it's hard to control that as well. But I think where that comes in, I feel like what's worse than the shooter is everybody that observes the shooter and doesn't say anything and doesn't reprimand.
That blue wall of silence.
Yes. Okay. Because if you're wrong, I will pull you aside and be like, yo, this is wrong, and we need to fix this,
Right.
instead of just continually letting you do wrong, especially when it harms and kills and destroys families and communities and people. Like it's ridiculous.
Right. But I mean, if they take an oath, if it's cops and robbers, right? If it's good and it's bad, and we're supposed to assume that all the cops are the good, then that means the other people are the bad. The cops have taken an oath to handle business a certain way. The other side didn't take that oath. So I don't know why when people make their
Yes.
arguments about this, they act like the people who are being shot, the shootee, the victims, took some type of oath as well as to how they were supposed to behave.
Well, I'm going to give you a piece of information that's actually fairly interesting. In 2008, I believe, the Supreme Court actually settled a case in which the precedent is set is that the police officers or the police force are not held to a higher standard and that they do not have a responsibility to protect and serve. That is a true statement.
Just to say that the oath they're taking is trash.
Just to say that in situations like this, we will see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to see. And I also tell you, because of her background as an activist, a known activist, and already being a part of protests and being a part of peaceful protests up to this point, that I hope they get it right.
I hope so. I do want to add a piece of information that did just also come out. Is after the recording of her being pulled over and having no license plate, no driver's license, it's come to people's attentions that she possibly, we're not 100% sure, but very likely was part of a movement where they give up their citizenship. They're sovereign, right? And they say that I'm just a person. I no longer live by the codes.
I saw a video of that, and they actually had to leave that guy alone.
Code and conduct.
Sovereign nation.
Sovereign nation. Yeah. Well, they don't typically leave people alone. That's actually not. That's not. That's actually a cause for more concern. But so they're saying that a lot of these actions could have been avalanched by that beginning focal point, because in the past, police and police officers have been brutal to sovereign nation people, culminating in a situation in the 80s in Philadelphia where they actually bombed a neighborhood.
Right.
Yes.
They bombed an entire. They dropped a bomb.
Yeah.
A bomb on a neighborhood
That was supposedly all sovereign.
where it was grown-ups and
kids.
children.
Entire
And
community.
a couple of the children are the only people who survived. And it was a very sad situation. Once again, all these things are things that I hope you, the viewer, listener, go home and research on your own. Don't just take our word for it. Please look this stuff up. I want you to get educated and acclimated to these situations on your own. But these are things that really happen. On the other side, I'm telling you right now, if something happened to me, I would call the police. Like, that's who I would call. There is no other recourse. So I don't want to paint this picture that all police officers are horrible people.
That's not even. That's not even. Nobody's saying that.
A lot of people are saying that.
No.
A lot of people are saying
I haven't. Anybody that has some wits about them is not saying, all police are bad. But they are saying
the system itself is is more the situation that needs to be fixed.
they're not talking the 90s and NWA. We understand that there are good police on the force. We're just trying to figure out where they are and why do the bad eggs keep on being what's prominent in the news. Furthermore, the system is what needs to be restructured. There needs to be a complete gutting and retraining of officers so that death and imminent death is not the answer every time.
And it's a good thing that a lot of our viewers and listeners have emailed us, and we're actually going to have a panel discussion, a comprehensive discussion on race coming up soon. So that's a good thing for us to talk about.
That's a good look. So we'll move into the second topic, which is still race. George Zimmerman, the man, if you remember, who killed Trayvon Martin, is back in the news again. This time he's in the news for being punched in the face at a Sanford area restaurant in Florida for allegedly bragging about shooting Trayvon Martin.
So George Zimmerman gives so remember that Fresh Prince episode where Uncle Phil goes to court and Will and Carlton are also in court and they're talking about the same situation as completely different stories?
Right.
This is almost what happened with George Zimmerman. So the story George Zimmerman gives is that he wasn't bragging about the Trayvon Martin situation, that he walked up to a table of fine dining citizens and saw a gentleman who had a Confederate flag tattoo and said to the guy, "I really like your tattoo." The guy turns to him and goes, "Hey, aren't you George Zimmerman?" And he begins speaking on the Trayvon Martin case and speaking about how he regrets what happened. And another diner sees him and goes, "Why are you talking about this?" And George is trying to explain what happened. He just punches him in the face and threatens to kill him with all his might. Now, fast forward to what the diners are saying what happened. George Zimmerman comes over to Tattoo and goes, "Hey," to the gentleman eating and goes, "Hey, I really like your racist tattoo." And the guy goes, "No, this is just Southern pride." George Zimmerman starts talking about Trayvon Martin, and this is independent people collaborating this version of the story. He goes, "I don't want to hear about that. You caused a lot of problems.
Right.
That was not a cool thing to do."
Yes.
George Zimmerman starts talking about it and bragging about it, and another patron goes over and says, "You need to stop doing that." And he goes, "Or what?" And he basically just hauls and punches him in the face. Making it a little better, escaping on his motorcycle, making it a little better, it's a white patron.
Yeah.
And the people at the dining who were eating were also white. And they were like, "This is wrong. We do not agree with
That's
what you
right.
did."
We got to hold ourselves accountable, people.
Yes.
Most of this new racism isn't happening in the presence of black people anyway until it flares up to so hot that then it makes the news, like this story and the last one. A lot of this racism is over dinner. And it's not in my house.
Definitely not. I think
It does happen in my house, so I don't have
that's
anything to say. But I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
I I think his account of the story is ridiculous for the fact that he just had the auctioning of his gun that killed Trayvon Martin and get money. Like, we know that he brags on
selling
this.
paintings.
We know that he tweets about it. We know that he's prideful about it. So nobody's gonna listen to this whack story of him going, "Well, I was just saying that I like the tattoo." Like that, you might as well just go, "Yeah, I said it, and I got punched in the face," and that's that.
And
Like,
a lot
just
of people feel like
fess
he's
up to it.
deserved to get punched in the
He
face for
deserved
a
a lot,
long time.
yes.
Like the fact that he's still alive is a testament to the self-control of black people in the United
Yes.
States.
Period.
Yes,
Period. Because people know at this point, everyone kind of knows where he is.
Yes.
He's easy. You can reach out and touch this dude, and people really haven't been as mean to him as you would think.
As he
They
deserves.
have. Possibly. I mean,
That hasn't been an eye for an eye, that's for sure.
it's not been an eye for an eye. I don't know what he deserves. I'm not gonna judge. But
needs-
did I feel bad when I heard that he got punched in the face at a restaurant?
It
No.
made me smile with joy, and it makes me feel even better that it was a white person that did it, and that when he tried to have a racist conversation, everybody checked him like, "Nah, that's you. We're not even down for that."
That's beautiful.
because it's absolutely
Patrons,
beautiful.
white patrons.
Yes.
That's what makes it even. It wasn't. As far as we know, they weren't black patrons.
Yes.
And that's actually what makes it even more beautiful.
Yes, that's my favorite part about it, because any black person would want to knock him out. That's understandable, but to see somebody else go, "You're out of line," and do it, it just makes me happy.
Kanisha would have knocked him out.
I would've
know
gave
that.
him a
Kanisha would have gave him a 1-2. You guys
combination.
don't even understand. She's Muhammad Ali.
There was
Kanisha.
a while where I was pretty, I was an issue had I seen him.
George Zimmerman?
Yeah, because as a comic, I don't have a record. What, are you going to fire me from my government job?
Yeah.
I pay me.
Oh.
I could literally be an activist, say what I want to say, and there's nothing that someone could take from me to harm me for speaking. You know what I mean?
I think
Speaking,
it was
doing,
interesting.
it put me kind of on the edge. So I was very frustrated about Zimmerman.
Can
Very.
I add something to this that
Of
just makes it
course.
even better? During the same time, everybody knows who Dylan Roof is, right?
Dylan Roof.
He also got assaulted while he was in jail, and I'm excited about that too. I'm excited about this jail justice.
Dylan Roof. I'm not excited about jail justice.
jail
I'm not.
justice.
I'm not a fan of it. We do have a system, and anything outside of that system does cause anarchy. Dylan Roof, in case you were wondering, or questioning, people might not
Yes.
remember the name, and I hope no one remembers this person's name.
Can I just say, I don't think that anything outside of the
church.
system causes anarchy? That was a good quote. But the system is broken right
the
now.
system is
system is
broken, but
anarchy.
I don't think that we should start vigilante justice because the system's
I
broken.
know.
me tell you
I know how bad it can get.
Jail
but
has been
the number one
a
place.
place for extra consequences for quite some time.
I understand. I've never been a fan of. Actually, I'm an advocate against prison raping because of that situation. To the point where now we just assume rapes in prison are a natural part of the system. They are not.
I hope they're
People
happening in
should not
certain
be.
portions of a prison. Yes, if somebody was to rape my child and then get arrested and go to jail, I'd be okay with somebody raping them for the rest of their life.
What if someone was arrested because they shoplifted from Walmart?
No, that's
See,
That's
not
not-
jail
I didn't
justice.
say that.
It's a
that's not-
slippery. It's a slippery,
It's a slippery slope. But in jail,
Because that's the guy that gets raped the most. It's not the hardened
okay, that's
criminal.
not what we're talking about. In jail, well, I have a extensive family background in this. Jail justice is if you do something to kids, if you do something to women, they will handle that. They don't play that mess. And I feel like
There's still
it needs to go
nobility
down.
involved.
Yes, it is. There are criminals
Yeah.
are very noble.
That's why
That I give you. I will 100% agree.
That's-
with.
but that's-
Criminals in my experience are very noble. However, I will
honor
never
amongst
condone.
thieves.
Never condone rape. I will never. There's no situation where I can personally condone rape.
Don't. But if somebody rapes my baby and goes to jail, I hope they tear his ass up.
So back
Period.
to him being assaulted, which
Dylan
is more
Roof, the
minor.
shooter, the church shooter,
Yes.
shot 9 people in cold blood inside a church.
And then went to
Black
Burger
people.
King right after with the
and then
police
was
department.
taken to Burger King with the police.
Police fed him
Yeah.
on the way back to jail.
And the guy was a beautiful black king who assaulted him, but right after that they put up a GoFundMe page for him, and he has been bailed out on $100,000
They put up
bond.
$10,000 on him?
Listen, they put up a lot. There was a lot of money, and they're saying they don't know where the cash came from, but they think it's from this because I posted it for people to donate. They was like, here is his books, and let's put all the money we
The
can on it.
assaulter, the assaults,
Yes.
the person who assaulted Dylan Root.
Because assault, I mean, you got punched up a little bit, like you know what you've done. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, and I feel like one of those, like I'm not a fan of death penalty or anything like that. I feel like he should have to get punched up every time somebody sees him for the rest of his life, and that should be his consequence.
On the flip side, I am a fan of the death penalty.
I'm not at all.
And I think it should actually be used for people who commit crimes against women and children.
You know what? I'm about to commit a crime against you. That's
Why? I feel like
because-
if you're a pedophile or a rapist, and I mean rapist, because there's a gray area in rape that people don't tend to talk
Yes.
about, which is when a lot of kids go to jail because they're 18 and their significant other is 17
Yeah.
or 16.
Statutory.
And they're calling it statutory,
Right.
but even though both parties
we
are
know-
still
we
in
know
high
that.
school and we know these stories.
Right. There's
and
different
some of
degrees
them-
to rape too.
Of course.
Like in my home state, Washington State, if either party is under the influence of alcohol,
Yes.
that's third-degree rape, even if they're willing.
It is very, very, very touchy.
It's a touchy situation.
But we're talking
But I
about
don't think the death-
heinous rape crimes, like the worst of the worst.
This is my
Death
thing with
penalty.
the death. No, this is my thing with the death
I'm
penalty.
with
You
death
get off.
penalty on
You get
those.
off easy. Now you're dead and you don't even know. No, you need to be alive and facing your consequences every single day. I feel like the parents should be able to come in and slap the hell out of you every single day for the rest of their life if they felt like it. Because once you're dead, then you've given it up. I've done all this. I've caused all these problems, and now I just get to escape and not live with the consequences. Because when you're
that's
dead,
part
you're
of the
dead. You don't know.
recourse.
But you don't know. When you're dead, you don't know you're dead.
They should rape them while they get lethal injection.
That, you know what? It's time to. Somebody's gonna get us
They got to
canceled.
go out with a hot one in them.
I can never.
What is the next topic? Because you guys are out of line.
I can't condone raping with lethal injection in them. However, just for legal standpoint, if they rape them after they're already dead, that's merely a misdemeanor.
they gotta
Necrophilia.
experience-
First of all, you're gonna get
They
worms.
got to go
Listen.
out screaming.
No.
Okay, we're not talking about that. If you're gonna rape kids viciously and heinously, I'm okay with it. I'm combining what you're saying. I do agree in the death penalty. I also agree in
Jail
some
justice.
punishment, and I think it should be both. Let's combine it.
This is just absolutely ridiculous. What's next?
Listen, there's states that would heavily consider this.
I know, Texas.
All right, so story number 3. Things got a little out of hand in Great Falls, Virginia this weekend when the driver of a 380 SL Mercedes-Benz accidentally reversed and landed on the hood of a $300,000 Ferrari 458 or 458 Specials as seen in this video.
Please watch. What would you do if that was your car? Look, hold on. She's trying to get off the car.
All those people watching could just pick it up.
They could.
But this is we're in the age of let's just record it all.
Which can actually get you in a lot of trouble if this was actually a real crime.
I don't know anything about cars. This could be a
Just know the
It's a
one in
very
the back
expensive
is
car.
it's expensive.
And the one in the front is also an expensive car. That's an antique.
Yeah, but the one in the back was made by hand.
The one in the back is, it's,
But antique, I feel like beats out hand.
no, that's an antique and hand.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody has insurance.
Insurance can't recoup the loss on, you know, when you get an insurance claim, even if they fix the car, it still goes on the report.
Yeah.
So now your car has lost value whether you want it to or not. That's what happened. And then, of course, the driver of the car, the owner of the Ferrari, was not very excited when he sees this. And he says to the woman, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen." He doesn't even raise his voice. And people are already hitting to social media and just
I just wanna
lambasting
know
him
if
why he...
either one
Because
of
when
them-
you're in shock, when you're genuinely in shock, you cannot even get upset. I've been in shock to where you're not even upset. You're just like,
Yeah, somebody rear-ended me, and I was like, man, just have a good day, bro. I don't even want to deal with it. My question is, which one, if not both of those drivers, were Asian?
Okay, that's actually neither one were Asian.
Neither one?
Neither one were Asian. It was two
Driving like that?
lovely Caucasian gentlemen who owned the car, and then a older young woman who was driving the car, the Mercedes.
Okay.
That's number one. Number two, I am from very close to Great Falls, Virginia. My family actually lives in Great Falls, Virginia right
Right.
now. It's a wealthier part
Let's keep
of
that image
Fairfax
up for a
County.
second. I just want to point this out. They're outside of a building that has a sign on it that says Great Falls Eye Care. So this lady actually was blind driving like this. Furthermore, what does a Ferrari 458 Speciale, $300,000 car doing in that neighborhood?
Because that's actually, it's a wealthier neighborhood.
Is it?
It's a wealthier neighborhood in Fairfax, Virginia. And number two, they're actually at a car event that they have almost weekly, and the big one every month, where people bring out specialty cars and show them off. And this gentleman had brought his car out to show. And this is what he got for showing his car. Does this help the stereotype of women drivers? No, it does not.
A lot of people saw his car, though.
Yeah. Now everybody's seen his car. Now he's famous. He's viral famous.
Very
Right.
famous. But when you were saying you were in shock, actually people were commenting to him on social media regarding the fact that he was speaking to a woman in that manner. They were actually mad at him for doing that. And mind you,
come up with
he was
anything.
very calm. I would have been in a rage. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
prone to
somebody-
rage.
regular
I think if
bloodline.
somebody
I'm not
accidentally
prone
or
to rage,
purposely ruined my $300,000 car, I would be livid.
I'm acting a fool.
Yeah, especially for this type of accident. This isn't like, we were coming to the sign and the light turned green, and like a driving. This is a humbug.
This was
is
a park. They
Just
were
turn
parked.
around and
Yes.
look. This is come on.
I have a hit on my Prius, and I'm outside screaming, "What the?" I mean, I acted a fool, and it's
Yeah.
like
On-
just
on
a
your
straight.
Prius.
But it's brand new, and it's mine,
And it's
and
yours.
I acted a straight fool, and it was $18,000.
I tend to be a very calm person, so in a situation like this, I don't know what I would do. I also have never owned a. That's not true. I've never owned a $300,000 car that got into an accident. So while I've had a car that was worth a substantial amount of money, I've never been in an accident in that car.
Right.
I don't know how I would have reacted. I might have been very calm because, like you said, insurance takes care of everything. However, this is a handmade car. They cannot fix this with the same
Yeah, I
with
get
the same
it.
dexterity that it was handcrafted.
It's just kind
to
of
begin
ruined
with.
when you ruin something and there's nothing you can do about it, and you're just like,
Exactly. And
I can do
it's
about
just an interesting story. It was just an interesting story. Do you let people borrow your car, Nate?
No. If it wasn't wrapped, yes. I had for quite some time. Like my old Mazda 626, I used to let my frat brothers drive it and all that. But once I wrapped my car, I was like, I can't.
It has to be you driving.
Yeah, because I haven't, by the grace of God, I haven't dealt with the situation where if there's an accident to a portion of the vehicle that is wrapped, then what do I do? Because insurance has issues with assessing and, with their actuarials, assessing the value of my vehicle with the wrap on it.
Because of the wrap. Because if
Yeah.
you, for those of you at home who don't know, Nate Jackson's car is
Wrap.
very Nate Jackson.
Yes.
Wrap.
It has a picture of Nate
well,
Jackson.
it has
It says
several
Nate
pictures
Jackson.
of Nate
Six
Jackson.
pictures.
There's six
pictures.
of his face
Oh,
And a
there's
business
7.
card holder.
and a business card holder.
Now, in my offense, I didn't ask for most of the stuff that's on the car. I was going to get a half wrap, and then the company who did it got excited because they got to do one for one person, and they normally were doing like fleet vehicles for cable companies and things like that. So they were like, "Oh, we're gonna show out," and so they did a lot.
They pimped your ride.
They did essentially. They added stuff to my graphic. They did my back window. They put a business card box on the back, and they wrote "Take a card." Like they did a lot of that. And I was like, just put your logo on the back too, man. Just thanks for all the extra stuff.
And they did extra, and it is very extra.
It is
And I
extra.
appreciate that. I appreciate someone who can
Love themselves.
exactly.
Oh no, this wasn't about self-love. This is about marketing and
promotion,
having a
we
tax
know.
write-off. This is the thing. When I was an undergrad in college at Florida Memorial College, we used to go to South Beach, and I saw a rapper who at one point became pretty well known, but I saw him when he wasn't.
Who?
2, as a matter of fact. One was Ace Hood,
Ace Hood.
Hey,
and so he had 3 white vans, I think it was.
Ace Hood vehicles.
Well, it said Ace Hood Music.
Mm-hmm.
The first van said Ace, the second one said Hood, and the last one said Music, and they would ride up and down South Beach
And they
in
would
that order.
all the time.
Yeah.
And they would park in
I
front
hope
of
nobody
clubs
would
like
have
that.
cut them off.
Right. And Pitbull also had 2, I think it was a truck or something wrapped too. And so now, and at the time, this is, we're talking 2001, 2002. They weren't either one of them weren't very prominent. Like Pitbull was doing regular shows just like at Coconut Grove. Now he's Mr. Worldwide. And
He
Ace
is
Hood
Mr.
had, I think,
International.
one or 2 platinum hits or whatever. But either way, at the time, I told myself if I ever come across the means, I'm going to wrap my vehicle, and then I did. So I'm proud of my little car. I'm glad I did it right.
What would you do if someone backed into your car in that situation?
I mean, I'd be upset, but the front of my car isn't wrapped. What would upset me more is vandalizing. Like
I wish they would come put the eyes, the X over
I
the
am
eyes on
so
all those pictures
concerned.
and mustaches all on it.
I'm so concerned about going to, like, coming out of a movie theater or something. There's like mustaches and eye black. The tooth is
Colored in.
Somebody took a Sharpie.
No one's ever done that? No one's ever vandalized your car?
No, I haven't had to deal with that.
Okay.
That's cool.
All right.
Well, that was.
What's the
Anyway,
next
so
one?
we'll go on to the next story.
Of course.
It looked like they were trying to pull up a picture of my car or something. I wasn't sure. So let's see. Story number 4. This is a lot of reading. So here goes. After much controversy, hardships, and low ratings, this year's 2016 Olympics have finally begun in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Currently, the U.S. leads with 12 medals. We're winning, guys.
Yes, we
Italy
are.
and China follow with 8, and Australia and South Korea with 6 and 5. No country has more than 3 gold medals. So
True
there's
story.
a lot of silvers and bronze involved with these 12. First gold medalist was West Virginia University 19-year-old sophomore Virginia Thrasher in the women's air rifle event. Then
West Virginia, if we could pull up her picture,
Yeah.
because I do want to show her. So she won a gold medal in the air rifle event, women's air rifle.
that's like the pellets.
She's only been doing it for 5 years. She's
Really?
only been shooting
Wow.
for 5 years. She went deer hunting with her father and then turned it into a lifestyle. To me, she not only did she deserve the gold medal,
Right.
China came in second and third, but she also looks like a scary ex-girlfriend. Like she's definitely a clinger stage 5 all the way. Like she has this look like I'll find you, and then she really will. Exactly. I really feel like
She's not
that's a-
British?
She's definitely not British. She's
That
just
front
very.
tooth right there?
Oh no.
That's a London tooth.
Oh my gosh, Virginia Thrasher.
Have you gone to the Bobby?
You don't want
I'm
to
going
talk
down
about.
to the store for the Bobby.
You know how far away she could shoot you from, and you
I'm
wouldn't
sitting
even
here.
know.
That's why I'm not laughing.
Harry, she's got to shoot me from Rio? I think I'm safe.
You know,
They'll have
You
to get her
never know.
a
You
could
a
never
medal
know.
made out of teeth.
you never know. She is on board. She
For the
is.
Bobby.
Yeah, she is.
Are you guys
a
looking at this
shooting
picture?
girl.
I'm
Oh
looking-
yeah. I'm like-
That's
I'm-
her voice.
I
She
was.
does
Harry
look
Potter,
like-
have you seen the Bobby with the Bobby? I don't even know what the Bobby is. I think that's a cop.
It is.
I
but
just thought it was a barbecue.
She does look.
It's cold
she
out
has
here,
a
isn't
look-
it, bruv?
She has a look to her. She's interesting. Olympics this year has been very. I mean,
She just looks like she's been focusing, guys. Okay.
this is one of the sports that none of us would care about if it wasn't in the Olympics. Like the only time we care about these sports of this nature is when the Olympics come around. Once every 4 years, all of a sudden we care about air rifling and swimming and speed walking, which is an actual thing. And for example, in the winter one, they have that. What's the thing when they do the ice? They
Oh, I like that one.
luge.
No.
No, the luge is the slide.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's the when they just scrape the ice. They scrape the ice.
I know what you're talking about. I do not know what it's called.
Yeah, they just literally
This is
scrape
Black
the ice.
Hollywood Live, where that's not a sport to us.
And most of this isn't sports to us. And the sports that are sports like basketball, which we love,
Right.
I mean, if the USA loses like it did in 2004, that is just a shame. Like
Yes.
right now, the only concern is the team going to win by 30, 50, or 100?
That's always.
That's
Right.
really the only.
And they're like, are our actual stars going? Because it seems like we're beating.
I don't even
people.
want to play. If I was
Got
in
it.
another country, I'm like, I'm not signing up for basketball. I'm not even going out there against the USA.
Right.
Like, I'm not doing it.
And they're beating people so bad that they're like putting our country's relations at stake. Like they beat China so bad, like we're gonna have some issues with some of our trade
Yes.
embargo.
But not all the superstars are winning. Not all superstars are winning.
This next one? Yeah, the 2000 gold medal champion Venus Williams lost to Belgium's Kirsten Flipkens in a stunning upset in the first round. They also lost their couples match. Venus and Serena lost.
Wow.
Can you, and
For the first time ever.
Everyone is blaming Venus because something happened. Something happened because there was a time Venus Williams was everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Serena came along and everyone
Little
really
sis came
forgot
up,
around
yeah.
about
Yeah.
Venus. And this picture really sums up what I feel like Venus feels on the inside. Like she's just lost.
Done.
And I don't feel bad for her. She's done a lot. She's clearly a legend, a tennis legend, a sports athlete legend. She's a pioneer. I mean, just breaking the color barrier in a lot of
Yes,
ways.
Queen.
But we're all Serena fans, and everyone's forgotten about Venus. Didn't even date Drake. I mean, you know, like
Serena has definitely had a lot more attention in the media and the press, but I was always down with Venus from the top, from the very beginning when they came out of Compton. I was like, yo, there's this chick Venus,
Venus
and
Williams.
they're like, she got a sister that's pretty bad at sport too.
and everyone had started, and they forgot
she's-
about her. Like, there was a time Serena was the little sister, like Serena.
I
Yeah.
forgot she even had a sister. I was like, oh.
And they say it's Venus
Right.
Williams is the original.
Essentially, it'd be like Solange going platinum right
Yes.
now.
Exactly.
7 times in a row. You're like, you guys remember when Beyonce was relevant?
But that's the thing.
Lemonade?
Venus
The
has
elevator
become the
girl's gone platinum
Solange.
7 times.
Venus has become the Solange. Serena even has a twerk video out. She teaches you how to twerk.
Not only that, she was twerking in Beyonce's video. Come on now.
She was.
Right.
She was
and
in
she
there.
twerked on the SBs.
And she's been on several acting things.
Yeah. And
Like
she's strong.
You know,
And
there
then her
was-
twerk is not like a sloppy, loose booty twerk either. It's not like one of those.
Oh,
Who's
no.
Serena's?
Yeah, no. Her twerk is like, I'm about to twerk. Like, her twerk
That's
is
how she does
serious.
everything, though. I feel like she's
Yes.
got that horse in her.
Horse?
Stallion.
She's like it's
She's a
it's
stallion.
red. She's a stallion. And then the
Rare
thing with
breed.
Venus is, you know, there was actually a major party in ESPN SB's party,
Mm-hmm.
and they didn't even let Venus in because they didn't know who she was.
Get out of here.
No, I made that up. But the
Oh.
fact
I
that
was
you
like,
could
that's
believe
not-
it for a second.
I did not for
it's
one
not-
second.
Oh,
I
but I
believe
did
it.
There's a
believe
thing.
it. That's what makes it bad.
Yeah, it makes it bad.
Oh.
You
And
believe
for a
it?
sec-
I was like,
for a
oh,
second-
Venus is outside. Serena's my sister, man. Let me in.
Yo, Serena's sister. Hey, and we was like, ain't
Solange
that
is
Randy's
outside.
brother?
Can
Yeah.
somebody go get my sister, please?
Yeah, that's how Ray J used to
Yeah,
be.
they're Brandy's
Yeah.
brother. Now this is Serena's sister.
Right.
That's the thing.
Brandy's brother is doing well, I think.
But
You
she
ever seen-
lost.
Last time I saw Brandy was in a viral video.
Brandy? I never liked Brandy.
I did.
I did.
never.
Come
Moesha
on.
never
was
liked-
the
no.
truth.
I never. Something
You
about
are-
You know the whole
Brandy.
thing?
Something
Moesha? That
about
was a great
Brandy.
intro.
I used to like the show. I used to like the car she had, the
Down
little
with you.
the VW
wanna be
thing.
Sitting up in my room.
I never liked her. I never liked Brandy. I just never liked Brandy. I never liked Moesha. There was just something about her
Moesha.
that I don't like.
When you go back and watch Moesha, though, she had an attitude problem.
No,
I
that's-
used to be
I
on the
didn't-
They
slide.
had the most random segues on that show ever. Like, you'd be like, I hate you, Jody. And then it would cut to 2 people playing tennis.
Yes.
And it wouldn't be Venus and Serena. And then we'd come back and Q was like, so I'm going to start selling drugs. Like, it was just crazy. They had very interesting segues. I hope
man.
you guys remember that. Go back and watch. Just type in old episode of Moesha in YouTube
Type that in.
after you finish watching this. So for more on the Olympics, French gymnast. I'm gonna. Yeah, there he is. French gymnast Samir Said.
And that was actually excellent.
All right, Samir
Oui, oui.
Saeed broke his leg
Yeah.
during team preliminaries live on television after attempting to complete his vault. Making it worse is the fact. Let me read this differently. I needed a period right there. Making it worse is the fact that the emergency crew dropped the lower end of the stretcher, attempting to put him in the ambulance.
So when they were putting him in the ambulance, they accidentally dropped the stretcher where his leg was. And
They
he,
dropped it onto his leg?
No, they dropped him in the
With-
stretcher.
yes.
With him laying on the stretcher, they
Right.
dropped the low end
Yeah.
and hit the ground, and he was in even more excruciating
So
pain.
it's just like, boop-bop.
Because if you saw the video, and this was the part of the video we were going to play, but we as a group decided not to.
No, let's
And-
play it and we'll just look away. You
No,
guys got to
it's-
see it once if you haven't
No,
seen it.
it's
not even
pretty
a break.
gruesome.
You guys think somebody broke their leg? No, it like
Snapped.
It
It just-
snapped
This
and
is,
turned
I mean, he
all
got
the
a
way
new
around.
wrist in the middle of his leg. But here's the
Yes.
thing. If you were watching the NCAA game,
Finals.
yeah, the final, I think Louisville had a player that snapped his leg.
Leg. Oh,
Paul George.
No, do you remember what was this?
Was that Paul George?
3 years ago, the MMA fighter when he went to kick him and
and it just
broke
became a.
him, right?
That
And
too.
well, there was another NCAA player that broke his leg, and he left the school he was at to play at another school. I forget his name as well, but the point is, it's disgusting to watch.
Not only that though, he took it like a G. Okay, he didn't scream, he didn't cry. He just hit you with one of these and was leaning back like I can't believe this just happened because you don't expect those type of major.
The French guy?
Yes, like right
I
when
mean, it looked like he was hurt. He was
he
rolling on
was
his
really
back.
hurt, but no, he just had this. He was just
I just didn't know why he was holding the good part of his leg still and letting it dangle. Like, just set your leg on the ground.
It probably because it
Because
hurt. I
it-
mean,
it
had to
hold
hurt
it.
terribly.
This is excruciating pain
Right.
of umpteenth degree. I mean, snapping a bone and ligaments and
Several,
whatever
actually.
else.
To
Oh
break
my
your
gosh.
leg,
To
if it's
twist
not
it
your
around.
upper thigh, that would just be your femur. But to break your leg at the bottom is 2 bones.
And you got to understand that you feel that type of pain, but when it's dangling like that too, it's sometimes pain is so great, like it just transcends your body. You feel it and you don't. I
probably
detached
just
my
tickled.
ligaments in my knee, and at first, like it just you can't even comprehend the pain. You're just like, how am I in this much pain? And it took me, I didn't even start crying at first. I was just trying to process
Right.
the amount of pain that I was in, because it doesn't make any amount of sense. And then when I stepped down and it crunched even more, that's when I was, but
Right.
you can't, it's hard to process that amount of pain. And you're trying to think, what am I going to do? Like, what is next for me?
And you were on a cruise when that happened.
Yes. Well, I was twerking in Mexico on stage, holding a white girl in the air, and it snapped. Wait, is my insurance watching? I caught this older lady. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, your insurance is watching. If you have to
But
ask.
we do have a lot of viewers. I wouldn't
We won't
doubt
put out a
it.
press release or anything like that, but yeah.
That's what they told me to say. Yeah, guys, it's on the paper.
But
It really, when it happens, you really are just like, I'm dead. You want to die. You're just like, I'm dead,
Right.
because it's so much
What's
pain.
the most pain you've ever felt? Physical pain.
I deal with pain very well. So
What's the most that you felt, though?
there's nothing that I felt outside of the norm. The most that I can even think of feeling is I was at the dentist one time and he used the numbing thing and it didn't numb. And he was drilling and I was like, I can feel this, but I dealt with it the entirety of the time.
You need to tell them I have to have triple the amount. You literally have to shoot me 17 times. And most people have like this one nerve, but a lot of people have two that split, and then they have to numb both of them if you have to go back. And tell them, you need to tell them.
It's never happened again. And also there is a thing where black people have stronger gums and teeth, which is why the
'cause they're black.
orthodontists have to know, possibly, but which is why orthodontists, specialists, sometimes have to come in if you do a root canal or if you need to have your wisdom teeth removed.
Right.
It needs to be someone strong because the roots are very strong. However, that's possibly the most amount of pain I've ever felt. But just on Saturday playing basketball, I dislocated my big toe. Someone fouled me. On game point, it went in. You know who you are, Jordan. And then
You kicked something?
no, he came to foul me for no reason. I had a free layup, and he fouled me, and my toe was dislocated. And I went to the hospital and had it pulled out. They had to give it shots, pulled all the way out. I mean, it was bad. And I was back playing basketball the next day against doctor's orders, I will say that. But I didn't have insurance concerns, so
Okay.
yeah.
Where were you hooping at?
West Hollywood Park.
Okay.
I play indoors and outdoors. So I play a lot of basketball. In fact, A, I get injured a lot playing basketball.
Right.
But B, it's the sport that you get injured the most
Yes,
in.
it is.
Is it?
In this country, it is. It has the most injuries. So
Basketball.
basketball. So I've had like just
I
within
don't know
this
why I
last
thought
6 months.
football was so much worse.
I think their injuries are
Everybody
a
on
lot
the field
worse.
is hurt.
Yes,
Injuries
linemen.
could be worse, like maybe at one time, but the most
Just know
amount
that
of
if your
injuries
toe was dislocated, you'd still be in there playing.
playing football.
Football-
Oh,
ridiculous.
oh my gosh! And I date a lot of football players.
Turf
and
toe
at night,
is a thing.
It is
all
a
their,
thing.
their body pops throughout the night for the rest of their life. It's just the weirdest. They're just so
Yeah.
injured.
Injured all the time.
I have
love
football injuries now.
Yes.
That's craziness.
Yeah. So what was the most painful thing you felt? Was it the
Oh
knee?
yes, definitely having my ligaments detached.
Well, for me, and you've experienced this too, so clearly that is worse pain. But as a member of my fraternity, it's a thing to a brand to experience getting branded, and so I have a couple brands, and that was painful.
You know what's crazy? I got both my brands, and it wasn't as bad as I feel like my tattoos hurt more than my brands did.
Oh yeah, well then they must not have got you good.
Though that got me good, but my thighs are meaty, and it was on the thigh. So
Yeah, I got hit right on some shoulder muscle and some bicep gristle.
okay, yeah. So my thighs are like juicy.
And it's
on the juice.
being branded is a part of a fraternal sorority thing.
Absolutely.
Especially in
Well, I know why we
HBCUs,
get it.
black
I
community.
can't speak for every other organization, but I know there's like a real actual meaning for
Yes.
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. Is there like meaning for you, or you're
Yes.
just like, let's just party?
There's a lot of meaning for us. So thank you. Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, Z-Phi.
There you go.
Yeah,
How about
so-
you, the Masons?
I went to George Mason University.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
a good,
right,
man.
well-
It's a good university.
Do you freeze up? I'll freeze up. Let's move on to the other story. So
Well, I did. I went to George Mason University for undergrad and my master's.
North
So-
points, South points. Anyway, so we'll move to the next story. The next story is Instagram versus Snapchat. The war is continuing with the brand new Instagram stories, which is basically Snapchat.
They just stole Snapchat
Yes.
and made it better.
No, I mean, is it better though?
That's what the tech companies are saying. The tech people, the tech evaluators are all saying that the Instagram version of Snapchat is better and that Snapchat needs to hurry up and improve Snapchat or they will fail.
What is better?
I was gonna say because Snapchat, fake Snapchat tweet. I don't know because now people tweet. They say y'all don't have no dog filters, and you know women love dog filters. So
Yeah, if
until
you don't have
Instagram
the
get the dog filters, ain't nobody leaving.
They will be getting the
Snapchat.
dog filters soon.
Let me tell you
Trust
that.
me. Did you
I
not
think
watch
that
the movie?
here's the thing.
They steal things.
Yeah,
okay?
but I don't
Zuckerberg
think
takes-
Snapchat itself, like the stories, is something that can be trademarked or licensed. But I think that facial recognition and geolocation software is. So I think that what Instagram is doing is trying to circumvent those things that actually have the,
Well,
I'm all about the filter.
Snapchat
legal
doesn't
ramifications.
own. They own their specialty filters, but
Right.
they don't own the technology that makes those filters. So I'm sure.
I mean,
Instagram,
unless they bought the company that came up with it.
Well,
Yeah.
other companies have come up with facial recognition. Facial recognition. And here's one of the things that I have a conspiracy theory about is that those Snapchat filters are really just us giving
Right.
our
Yes.
facial recognition over. Like this is that because the more I read into these companies, people need to know that it's a known fact. When if you read your Google disclaimer, if you read your, they specifically tell you you do not own your Gmail. You do not. You don't own your Facebook. You don't own your Snapchat. They own it. In fact, when you have an iPhone, you don't own your iPhone.
That's why I said don't do the fingerprints.
Yeah, you don't own your iPhone. Apple owns your iPhone.
Yeah.
You are actually paying a lot of money and then monthly to rent your iPhone from Apple. So it's their basically
The
it's their
content is
property.
theirs.
It's theirs. And so when they put things like this, I have a theory is all going into a database, which they have sold in the past to governments. So if I had if I was I don't know, charged with murder, they could go and get my Google searches and see, and they have done this in the past where they look up your Google searches, and if you had looked up how to poison your wife with bleach, then that will come up on the search, and they will use that against you in a court of law.
Yeah.
They have done this before. I watch a lot of First 48.
I see.
I'm just saying. So with this facial recognition software, I think we're just volunteering
Yes.
our own bodies into this database. I mean,
Yeah, because they don't have to search for you anymore. Like all the work they used to have to do, they can do everything online.
everything.
That's why it
You're-
kills me when
you're
people
telling them
put all
everything.
their money and their drugs and their prescriptions, and I'm like,
That's Big Brother.
Yeah.
the
And
feds
Facebook,
are
the
watching.
questions on the Facebook description, you're like, okay, you guys don't need to know that.
Yes.
Rick Ross is the worst advisor of all. I'm selling dope off my iPhone. That's just the best way to go straight to jail.
Yes.
Said
Don't
dope
pass go.
on my iPhone.
Yeah. Like, because people really take these things in account. And
I
they
think he
don't realize
literally
it.
is like, there's dope sitting on top of his
the
iPhone,
iPhone.
and he takes it off of the iPhone and hands it to somebody.
No, I think he was texting people.
Dope.
Yeah, I've got that dope. You know, people go around and have, remember the snowman shirts?
Yeah.
And then drug dealers have the snowman shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have to know.
Jeezy.
But people put that up. I see people tweet, "Yo, who got some weed?" And somebody else had tweeted before, like, "Yo, I'm trying to sell like a zip or something." And the police department had tweeted them back and was like, "Well, let us know your location."
Right.
Yeah. and it's
To
just
be
like,
funny. I mean, it's
yes.
true. They use rappers' lyrics against them in courts of law. So all this stuff is stuff that they have to use against us.
Yes.
But back to the Snapchat feature on Instagram, basically, they're saying that it's better. That it's
Why?
taken all the Snapchat positives and none of the negatives, and that the filters Instagram has stated, or has at least alluded that they're on
coming
their
soon,
way.
yeah.
They're coming extremely soon.
The only thing that I don't know, so is the messaging, it's still going to be the DM messaging though, right? Because this is the thing that I hate about Snapchat is when I get drunk and I start Snapchatting people messages, I don't know what I said the next day because you can't retrieve it.
You can't
And
retrieve
I just need that part to be gone because I get myself in trouble.
That part.
Instagram, the videos disappear in 24 hours, but the messages you send are regular Instagram DMs that stay forever.
Okay, good, because whew.
Yeah. So
And even though the Snapchats disappear from your phone, Snapchat keeps a nice recording of
Well,
everything.
Snapchat's
here's what I
having a
wanna
good
know.
time with me.
yes or no in regards to, do you have a problem with Instagram eating Snapchat?
Yes.
You have a problem with
I
it?
do because I think that's what's going on right now. That's the problem I have with designer and future. Like I feel
Okay.
like your original ideas, it doesn't matter anymore. Somebody can go, you know what, that's mine, and everybody will give them props. We have a big problem with this. I feel like in stand up because a lot of the people that do sketch comedy will take our jokes and turn them into sketches
Right.
and be like, oh, that's mine, and because everybody's seen them online, you go to do your joke and they think that you took something that was already yours.
Right.
So I have a big problem with everybody supporting people stealing people's ideas and just being fine with it and not having a problem with that.
We
It
do need
irritates me.
better intellectual property laws.
What do you
Yes.
think, Teron? Are you okay with it?
Am I okay with it in the tech space? I think that competition is healthy and necessary for capitalists and the process. Do
Right.
I think that Instagram and Facebook has a history of just basically taking ideas and making them their own? Yes,
They tried to buy Snapchat at first.
they did.
Didn't, got turned down, and then just consumed
They
them.
try to buy Snapchat. They try to buy
I think
Twitter.
that's not healthy competition. I think competition is a race against, a race against each other to get to develop the best technology and to be unique and all that. And then when people are just saying, "We'll let you do that, we'll just steal it once you have
Yes,
it,"
then
it's
that's-
that
Do you
cheapens
really
the
like your
entire
iPhone?
process.
Do you like your iPhone? Are you an iPhone avid user?
I am.
Okay. Well, a lot of that technology came from Android, and they
And
have
I am
sued
an
each other.
Android.
They have sued each other
Right.
many times back and forth, and each one is one separate things that all of us as consumers actually get to benefit from. So I don't know.
Well, we shall see, and it will unfold. That is our episode as far as stories go today. I want everybody to show where you can catch them, find them at. Teron, where can they find you?
Well, I'm at the Laugh Factory every Monday and Thursday at 10. Please email me, contact me on social media at I am Teron. If you want guest list, I'll make sure to put you on the guest list. Also, the Fox show So Me, which is nationwide on Fox.
Hey, I am Kanisha Best. You can catch me on Sirius XM or over at All Def Digital, ADD. And we do have a new movie coming out called Major Deal, so please check it out.
Yeah, and you can check me out on Thursday nights on MTV, Wildin' Out Season 8, or NateJacksonComedy.com. If you have Instagram or InstaSnap, follow me at Mr. Nate Jackson.
That's
Headlines
us.
with headliners. Peace.
So that's what we do now?
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.